Welcome to my video where I want to do a book review of the Norton Star Atlas and reference handbook. This is the 19th edition and it's edited by Ian Ridpath. This is the 1998 edition. This is mine. You can see it's heavily worn. I've used it quite a bit. Goes back to this Arthur Norton. He started these back a long time ago. This is multiple. This is the 19th edition. So it's been around a long time. And I just want to go through it, flip through it, kind of just give you some general information how to use it and what it contains, so that if you want to get one, get some general purpose information up front. Talks about the designators. That's a bit confusing in all star atlases because they go back to antiquity and they've changed a lot. So it lists the star charts, and this goes down to the magnitude of about 6.5, which is what you can see the naked eye in a very dark sky. Okay, this is the index, and so this is just the different star atlases, or the individual pages, the page number, and I'll show you those in a minute, and then for the northern sky and then the southern sky. And I mostly concentrate on this since I live in the northern sky. Okay, I'm going to just pick one and do it in general rather than go each one of these. So there's the first northern. And it gives you some information on your double stars, variable stars, clusters, and galaxies. Then it points it out which ones are on these maps. And then this is going to be your Milky Way. And I'm going to go keep flipping. I think I'm going to stop at one. This for the summer skies, because that's what I'm doing right now. And show you that one. This was, and you can see it goes by, this would be your right ascension. Down here are your hour angles. And then this would be your declination. Starting goes up here, 60, 90, all the way up to, let's see, goes to 0. That's going to be about your equator. And then that goes up into the northern declinations. And this goes back to, tells you which map it goes to. I'll direct you back to this map right here, which goes all the way to the pole. Let's see, it goes 80, 70, no. 60, 70, 80, 90, all the way up to Polaris and the pole star. So that's the way it's broken out. So if you've got a right ascension and declination, you can look up something. And it occasionally has these little insert stars, like there's the Pleiades, to identify those stars in more detail. And right here it tells you this is epoch 2000.0, so that's due to the Earth's precession. They've put all the stars basically how they would look in 2000. It's not much different than when I'm making this video in 2026, but a slight detail for stars that move quickly, and they all change a little bit due to the precession of the Earth's axis. Variable star is going to have a dot with a circle around it, or like these two, and then this is going to be a nova. It's got an N in front of it, and this tells you if it's a double star, it's got a line through it, or just a regular star with not a double or binary or triple system. Okay, let me go through map 7. Map 13 has got probably the heart of the, okay, here it is. Interesting objects in 13 of 14. This is the one I'm using a lot right now because it's summertime. There's Cygnus, the Deneb, and then there's the Northern Cross. And this is going to be Vega. And here's going to be Altair. So there's your summer triangle right there. Now I'm going to concentrate a little bit on, go through some of these and explain some of this to you. Okay, we'll just pick on this one. There's 7,000 in small print. That's NGC 7000. That is going to be your North American Nebula. And you see that's got a circle with a line around it, or a circle with a dot in the middle. That's the P Cygni. I've also done a video on that. Be able to look at that. And then this right here is going to be a variable star designation for, it's a double star, Chi Cygni. And it also gives you like Alpha, which would be the bear. That goes back to the Greeks' early system. Altair is the name of it, which also goes back many centuries. And this N 1984 would be a nova. Let's see what else. Okay, these little numbers like 25, 24, 22, 17, that's going to be the bear number. No, that is the Flimstead number, right? That goes back to Flimstead, the guy that was the head of the Royal Observatory back in the 18th century in Great Britain. And let's see, Okay, HU, that's going to be a variable star designator. And I'll try to find some more stuff to identify here. COL, I think that's a colander number, if I remember that right. Let's see, let's find some more stuff in here to look at. Okay, there's a variable star SU. Trying to find a Messier object. Oh, there it is, M29. There, it's an open cluster. It gives you the designator for it. It tells you down here what that would be. There's a galaxy and then an open cluster. Let's see, it's going to be like that. Open cluster is going to a dotted circle. So now if we go back a page, and this goes through the details on each of the type of objects, starting with a double star. I'm not going to go through all this in gore detail because it'd take a whole lecture just to do that. But, excuse me. ADS, that's the Atkins double star number. And this gives you the other designator. And these go back years, like the, I'll try to see if I can find an easy one here. Tau, Ophiuchus 70. Let's find a good one here. No. Okay, 61 Sig. I'm getting ready to do a video on that right now. Got an interesting little double star you can see with a small telescope. Here's going to be your variable stars, and like I'll just talk about 61 Cygnus. Let's go and see what it tells you. It's a pair of magnitude 5.2 and 6. So the actual pair is the visible eye. I mean, in dark skies you could see it. There's your angle. As the stars, there's an angular system that tells where the stars are relative to each other. And there's your separation. And so that's going to be in degrees. No, it's going to be in minutes of separation. So you can just resolve that with a small telescope. Most of these, it'll tell you, like, this is a fairly wide open cluster. You can resolve that. It tells you it's a binary system, a period of 650 years. So it's more than a lifetime. Some of the real close ones, you're going to need a bigger telescope to see. Variable star designators. These are like the V3879. That's a more recent designator. And then the double letters in front. A W is one of the first designators used for the variable stars. There's a whole system for this, and it tells you what type of variable star it is. M would be like for Myra. And just the different types of semi-regular variable stars. There's more variable stars over here for you to observe. It'll give you some information about the range of the stars. Let's see if I can find that Chi Cygni in here. Probably not, as I'm trying to show it to you. I don't have it marked. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to take measurements of it right now, and I'll do a video on it one day. Okay, this is your clusters. It gives you the New Galactic Catalog number, the NGC number, and I mentioned a minute ago 7,000, which is the North American Nebula in Cygnus, 2 degrees long, but with low surface brightness, visible in binoculars under dark skies. That was kind of hard to see. You really have to have really dark skies to see that. Okay, M27, I think I've done a video on that. Let's see, that's at 20, 22. So let's go see if we can find that. It's about at 20. Oops, gotta go this way. It's gonna be at 20. Let's look it up, about 20, and then it goes to 22, about right in here. Okay, M27, that's the Dumbbell Nebula in Cygnus. So it's going to be down here. Here's your Deneb, the bright star. So it's going to be down towards the base of the cross, because the cross is going to go this way, so it's going to be off in this area right here. There's M27. All right, so this is pretty much a summary, and then this goes to the southern stars, which I'd like to go see. This gives you kind of a map of the galactic, where everything fits in the galaxy. If you spread it out according to how the galaxy is distributed, position and time, it goes through some details on how to read and understand positions and time. It goes to a lot of detail, and if you're really not familiar with this, it's not a bad thing. Some of these charts, I'm sure, have been redone in the newer editions of the book. Like I said, this is a 98 edition of the book. I've had this Norton Star Atlas since then, and I've had ones before that. Probably back into, let's see, the early 70s. I've had one all these years. This is a limited magnet chart. This tells you where you're at and then how many stars you can see. And that's a good way to figure out what your sky brightness is. Talks about instruments, a little bit about telescopes, different types of mounts, optical systems. Talks about selecting a telescope, advantages, disadvantages, a little bit about the spectrum of stars, how to align like a refracting telescope. And if you have a Newtonian refractor, you'll need that because they do get out of a line. Let's see, then this is, that's got to do with photographic stuff. That's pretty old. Probably won't be in the newer edition because everybody has CCD cameras or iPhones or something like that. Nobody hardly uses film anymore. It's not very effective. Solar system goes into different stars. Here's the sun, the sunspot, and then how the sun rotates, the sunspot cycle. And then the moon, here's your moon charts. It breaks it down into quarters. This is pretty helpful. I've got another moon atlas that's more detailed that I may do in a future video, but that does help. Talks a little bit about planets and their satellites, Mercury, the different band structures on Jupiter, Saturn, the minor planets, Pluto, Neptune, comets, some of the details on the calculations. I know this is really, if you're familiar with everything in this book, you're going to know a lot about it. Talks about eclipse, occultations, aurora. Let's see what we got. Okay, stars, nebulae, and galaxies. Okay, just more breakdown of information. Okay, this goes into the electromagnetic spectrum, distances, motions, physical parameters, parallax, trigonometric parallax here, some of the bright stars. And one of the stars I'm working on right now is a 61 Cygni, and it's a fast-moving star. I'm hoping to, there it is. I'm hoping to do that again next year and to see its actual movement. That's my plan, is to next year about this time take another photograph and compare the two, but that's next year's issue. And then this is your diagram of the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram of the way the stars are distributed in spectral type and absolute magnitude. And then talks more about stars, double stars. Really just got a lot of good information in it. And it's probably about time for me to upgrade this because this one's older, but hadn't really changed that much, I'm sure, but probably need to get a new one. A glossary, and then some addresses, but now they'd be more like websites. So this gives you a lot of the basic glossary, the information that you would need to find things. And you can see I've got a lot of little notes all over this thing, a bunch of stickies in the past. Talks a little bit about it, and all I can say is if you're interested in astronomy and you need a book, especially to see the stars, I know in today's world everything is digital, online, but believe me, this comes in very handy sometimes when you're looking things up, because sometimes the star atlases go way in or way out, and I use the physical map a lot. I've got a lot of online stuff, I know about all that stuff, but sometimes this is really very helpful. So don't discount this because it's a book and it's paper and it's not online. This is very useful. Well, I hope you got something out of this and learned a little about the Norton Star Atlas. And I want to thank you for watching.